What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait, I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. Oh my God, they're talking Hebrew in the chat? That's what we're doing? Okay. I can't read Hebrew. At least not that well, man. Welcome to the Breakdown, episode 742, sponsored by Midnight. That's right, Midnight, the sponsor of this show. Midnight City. Midnight City. I put out a meme of me in Midnight City. That's right. That's right. Midnight City's cool, man. I've been obviously playing with Relax. Oh my, I can't even say any word without y'all becoming obnoxious, but I've been playing in the game, watching as, I mean, Charles was on here. I think my IQ level in the game is borderline idiotic. So we'll have to go ahead and we'll have to up the ante there, man. That's right. What? Anyway. Also, Polymarket is the official prediction market sponsor of the Breakdown. That's right. 742 Polymarket. Shout out to Polymarket. Cake Wallet. Shout out to Cake Wallet. That's right, Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet is also a sponsor of this show, and Cake Wallet, Vic, and that team also came out with a new product called Radar. That's right. We will have Vic on this show. I believe Thursday we will have Vic on this show. We'll discuss Radar and other things. Cake Wallet, also Monero, privacy. We'll go through the whole thing. So that's really cool, man. Check out Radar, man. See? It's all about uplifting people that are doing stuff in this industry. Also, go to G Markets. You want the latest listings? You want the latest data for your favorite crypto? You go to gmarkets.io. That's right. Now, we'll talk about crypto. We'll talk about politics. Speaking of that very topic, let's go ahead and bring that up real quick. Speaking of that, before we get into crypto, okay, I want to go on to polymarket.com. Yes, sponsored by polymarket.com. Go ahead and bring this up. By the way, we got to talk about the U.S. Oh my God, the Team USA, man. I'm not going to get on y'all. I'm not. But God damn it. 4-1 beating, bro. Like, what? That was like the worst game y'all played this entire World Cup, man. The hell, man? Somebody had new pictures of, I don't know, something was going down there. I don't know. Anyway, let's look at this because I noticed this and I was like, holy shit. Because it's different. It's different than yesterday. Let me pull this up. It's definitely different from yesterday. All right. So, and I'm gonna tweet about this too. AOC is coming in hot right now. AOC, Democratic presidential nominee 2028. Who is it going to be? I talked about this yesterday. She's coming in hot now. 15%. Gavin's at 18. He was at 12 before. He's at 18. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if AOC is the leading candidate for the Democratic Party. Do I think she can win the presidency? No. But I'm just saying, look who you have. Look who you have here. They got Jon Stewart, for Christ. This is how bad it is. Respectfully to Jon Stewart. They got Jon Stewart on the, on here. You got people thinking that maybe Jon Stewart could be the president of the United States of America. The Dems don't really have anybody. I mean, the only notable, well, Kamala Harris also, but you've been through that song and dance. I don't think. Come on, even the white guys for Kamala have questioned everything. Even the white guys for Kamala questioned everything about their decision. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. By the way, please do me a favor, unfollow me if you're one of those white guy for Kamala thing. That is so whack. You like Kamala, no matter what race you are, okay, go vote for her. But like, white guys for Kamala is just so stupid, bro. Oh my God, man. Oh my God, that's more division. I'm telling you, that kind of stuff is just more division for no reason, man. White guys for Kamala, like, okay. All right, so Gavin Newsom, 18%. AOC, 15%. I can see them probably putting them together. Gavin Newsom and AOC. AOC is a vice president. Gavin runs for president. I don't know where Kamala's at 8%. I don't know. I just can't see it. But I didn't think her or Tim Walz would be fucking leading the ticket for the Democrats. So Who knows, man? Who knows? Who else do we got all here? Who else? We got. Do we still got we got Stephen A. Smith. 1%. Mark Cuban. What a lineup. What a Chelsea Clinton. Whoopi, excuse me, not Whoopi, Oprah Winfrey. Yo, y'all so desperate, y'all trying to bring Barack Obama back. LeBron James, Mr. Beast. Tim Walsh, 1%. Oh my God. Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian, man. And Hunter Biden. That's right, Hunter Biden. That's right. If you want to get the latest like news, instant news, man, you can go on to polymarket.com. Polymarket is, again, a sponsor of The Breakdown. Oh my God. I was laughing. That's some funny shit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Oh my God. Can you imagine? I'm voting for Hunter Biden. I'm switching. I'm switching parties. I'm going to vote for Hunter Biden. Anyway. Welcome to the show. Crypto is very bullish right now. Sentiment is very bullish until I got, I don't know what I'm doing here because I got Landy in the back in the green room. Right now, I just said we are very bullish, and I know what's going to happen when he comes on here. He's going to be very negative. He is absolutely going to be very, very negative. He's going to tell us right now that memes are going to go to zero. I have a feeling. I have some sort of a feeling. By the way, it is day 9, I think. Day 9. Still haven't said a word. Still haven't endorsed anything. Still haven't done anything. Because ultimately, the people decide. And that's what I always said. Ultimately, the people decide. That's it. Yesterday, I did a Spaces at night because I found it comical. I found it fucking comical that me being the bull, I've always been the bull in this space. It's like one of the nicknames that people used to throw at me, the bull. Somebody just grabbed it. I've never even heard of them. Nobody's heard of them. Nobody's heard of them. I'm like, what is happening? I just found it comical, man. And everybody who was down for the cause, down for the movement, they ran. They ran away. They said this dude is the next coming. Yo, I got to tell you about this, man. Landy, I don't know if you were tuned in, man.
I was not. No, I missed it.
All right, so apparently this is what's going on. This is the latest update, Landy. I must have said something about my own people, the Jews.
Uh-oh.
So they sent in an industry plant. So
I'm not Jewish.
No, not you. It wasn't you this time. So they sent in an industry plant. He takes my name, the bull. Nobody knows him. I asked I'm like, do you know that? Nope. And this is where the IQ test comes in, right? This is where the social experiment comes in. The people that were like, yo, D, I love this movement. I love this movement. Bro, guess what I saw them posting up? Exactly, right? I'm down for the movement. I want to heal the space. I want to make the space better. I see it. We could be the new Wall Street bets. We could do great things. Bro, they don't even know this guy. False prophet. They ran to him. They fucking ran to him. They left me. I was on the streets alone, Landy.
Man,
I was in these streets walking with my bottle of water with a straw in it.
man, straw and all. That's
Straw.
crazy. It's hot.
And I was like,
You need that
man.
bottle of water too.
So the shit went, by the way, the plant, his shit went up to like 15 or 17 million or some shit like that. And then, all right, so I'm working, right? I'm doing some shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Why this shit went from, it's, remember, organic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The shit went from organically from 17 to all of a sudden it's at 5 million, bro. Within a second.
Yeah, low of about 3 million. Yeah. Not that I pay attention to any of this stuff.
And I've been saying the entire time, are you guys tired of having nuts put on your forehead? And everyone's like, yeah, I'm tired of that. Tired of having nuts on my forehead. Bro, it's just like, it's a vicious cycle. It's like they appreciate the ball sack smell. Like it's almost
God. Jesus Christ.
no, but like at some
I was
point, like
trying to take a drink of water through this straw over here, and it didn't work.
at some point you gotta call for what it is. It's just like maybe people are just like they love the cologne.
Oh man.
Bulls by Fendi. Get it at your next. Get it at Macy's now.
Oh God.
I don't know, man. Y'all, are, you know, I can talk as much as I want. I can say, hey, you know, I think this is the right way of rebuilding crypto. Not that crypto is bad, but like crypto has digressed for the last 4 years, in my personal opinion. And here we are. I don't need to do any of this shit. I'm good. Landy's good. We're all good. We can sing Kumbaya, look at charts all day, talk about politics, AI, you know, talk about, you know, what are our limits on Claude? Have we used up tokens? And I don't know. I'm just saying we could talk about random things.
Yeah.
Here I am, just like, hey, let's sounding like Michael Jackson, like heal the world, make it a better place. Like I'm doing that for crypto, for you and for me and the entire. I don't know the last word. I don't. What is that in the entire? I don't know what. No, anyway. And you know what? Some people rally for the message. 1, 2, 3 days. Are you okay, bro? You fine?
Yeah. No, I'm just.
Okay.
I'm just reading.
And then all of a sudden, somebody puts the balls out. Somebody just goes ahead and puts a whiff of their balls out after playing some wicked basketball in 90-degree weather, and they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Yeah, I can understand you getting teabagged when you got pink eye.
You know,
I'm just saying, Landy. Maybe I'm wrong, Landy. Maybe I'm wrong.
you know, what do I know? I'm just a Bitcoin puppet.
You are.
I'm just over here sitting on my butt, my tux, just rooting for the USA.
Yeah, that. By the way, Team USA. You know what I'm thinking right now? Team USA. Legit. I think Belgium had like naked pictures of them or some shit. Because
played
Ain't
like
no way,
ass,
man. That was the worst game they played in the World Cup. Like, horrific.
Yeah. No, that was an awful showing.
Terrible. But they're young, so they'll make a comeback. I don't want to beat them up, okay? Because y'all never played on the field either, okay? You guys haven't played against top competition, so nah. I'm not going to beat them down. I'm going to say that they did very well. I mean, yesterday's game was awful, but I'm saying they did well. I mean, they got to the 16. Hopefully, in 2030, they do much better. That's it. We got good players on the U.S.
Yeah. No, there's good players. They got some star power. They just did not play well.
The goalie.
Yeah, but they were also turning the ball over so much.
I get it, but you got to make a save or two, bro. Like, and you got to be on your game. You're the last line of defense.
I mean, as a little puppet, I'm like half the size of a soccer ball, and I know I would have had a lot of trouble at goalie. So I can't shit on him.
I can.
Anyway, I can't throw stones. I live.
Just want to also say, Jalen Brunson is undergoing wrist surgery on his left hand. He played through the season and the finals with a fucked up wrist and still scored 45 in your asses and won the championship and the MVP. Just want to put that out there. That was a Jordan-ish.
It was legendary. Right? Like, that performance was legendary.
Yeah. Legend. He should get his own, he got his own kicks. Anyway. Crypto. Let's get to crypto. Everybody's excited. Everybody's in the room. Guys, you know what? If you're on X, retweet or repost, whatever they call it now, reshare wherever you're tuning in from. Shout out to the people on X. Shout out to the people on TikTok. Shout out to the people on Getter and all these other social media platforms that we are on. Thank you very much for tuning in. Crypto is back from a sentimental standpoint. Not from a chart standpoint, but from a sentimental standpoint. I feel like we are fucking back, and I've been talking about this. The vibes are a little bit different. Now, they could change.
Yeah.
It all can change, because I know what Landy wants to say. He's probably going to say, we still got one more leg down. If I'm right, and if my balls are right,
which they always are.
This conversation is brought to you by Bulls. If I'm right, Landy will say that we still could go to $24. If I'm right. Because Landy's going to come on here and ruin your goddamn parade. Landy's going to say, we are going to $44. That is the new floor I have set. $44.66. All right, Landy, you had Michael Saylor, who sold. Well, not him. Strategy sold. Had no effect on Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up, it didn't go down, which was a good thing. To me, that's a positive sign.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. A lot of people got on Saylor yesterday, reading through the timeline. They're like, he'll be out of here next cycle or some shit like that. I'm like, guys, like, from my perspective, I don't want to see him leave. I hope he stays here. He's done nothing wrong here. He's just went and bought Bitcoin. Y'all all talk about buy Bitcoin. Well, that's what he did. Surprisingly, too, this is a surprise. Landy, before we get into this, surprisingly, Tom Lee bought Ethereum and Ethereum went up. I fainted. Not gonna lie.
It was his first good buy in a while. Hey, Michael Saylor had one of those. He had a first good sell at $77,000, which is a lower high.
I expect him. I don't know he's going to buy back Bitcoin. He's already made that statement. They're going to buy and sell, right? So, I mean, he could be waiting. to
This
buy
isn't
back
the
lower,
first time
right?
that he sold. It just doesn't. I get the narrative, and I get the. I understand why the timeline is so against him. I understand it. Like, but I guess maybe it's because people want to dunk on the MSTR and STRC holders and those pretty prominent accounts that, either run shows or spaces or whatever, but realistically, he's sold before. This is not anything new, and it's not like he's never once changed the mantra of like just buy Bitcoin, never sell it. He's never changed that mantra, and I think that a lot of it has to do with the public image and the things that he said in the public about Bitcoin and never selling it without the knowledge that he has sold Bitcoin prior. That people are like I've never really looked at it as like, whatever, because I have also sold Bitcoin.
Yeah.
All right. But
But
I'm
then you
I'm
go back.
always yeah, but I yeah, and but the thing is like I'm an aggregate hodler, right? Like I've been sizing my bags up for many, many years. Like there are spots where I've sold, like I sold back in 15. Um and this was around a low so that I could go and buy miners, right? Like, but I was up on my Bitcoin. I got miners and started mining it, and it's not like I sold my entire bag or anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't too long after that that not only was I mining, but I also bought more than I had sold. It's just that at that particular time, I wanted to get in. There was a good deal on miners after the capitulation down. Miners were selling off, so I was like, I might as well pick up. There's an opportunity here, and it turned out really well, right? But I get the public perception of never sell your Bitcoin and the marketing message of never sell. And so I understand the criticisms, but I also don't understand why people aren't just acknowledging the reality of like, no, no, he has sold before. He sold then again 32, and then he sold more, and they indicated they were going to sell more. And I get that they want somebody to attack, um, but I just feel like if you're in Bitcoin and you don't agree with Sailor and DAT, the DAT model or the the credit model that they're running and Strive is running, then you're not in those products anyway. You're just holding Bitcoin anyway. What does it matter? Like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day because it's not your keys, not your coin, in my opinion. I'm not a buyer of those particular products, but they have a market, right? Whether now then let that be the debate. Not the oh my god, he sold. They still hold a mass amount of Bitcoin. And I mean,
Exactly.
and now they have what, like 2.25 billion on their balance sheet for cash. Like they've got plenty of runway now. They can service debt, they can sell more Bitcoin if they want. And this proved out something that you just pointed out. They sold Bitcoin, and of course, it was announced later after the sale, but price went up, right? Like it's
Yeah.
not that the market is a liquid enough market that this is not going to be, even if they were going to be selling more. If they sell more, they're just giving themselves more runway. They will survive. They will be back, and everyone will forget about all of the fear surrounding a strategy collapse. And then everybody will be celebrating. And they'll immediately forget that he sold, just like last cycle. They'll immediately forget that he sold any Bitcoin, and they'll just because he's gonna be like hodl, hodl, hodl the whole way up.
So, the jokes though, like some of the jokes that are cracked are hilarious.
Oh no, they're funny. I
They're
find it
like,
funny,
"Yo,
but
you
there's
ran
some
out of
very
kidneys?"
serious people out there. They're very angry.
No, but it's funny when they say like, "Yeah, hey, you ran out of kidneys to sell," or, um by the way, I wanna talk to you about that, the BIP situation with ordinals
110?
and stuff. Yeah,
Oh man.
because that's getting heated.
It's not though. I mean, it's social media engagement
Yeah, but it's
farming,
still
in my
getting
opinion.
it's it's
It's gonna
it's
die.
crazy. It's crazy how Bitcoiners or Bitcoin maxis refuse to accept anything. It really like ordinals would drive or will drive, I should say, so many younger people to the platform, or I should say to Bitcoin. And you're doing everything to say no. We don't want that. Like it is. This is what I mean. Like at some, you know what? If you don't accept this, Landy, I know, and I know, like you might give me shit for this. But if Bitcoin maxis don't, and I respect them, you know why? Because without Bitcoin maxis, we would not be here. So there's one side of the coin where I do respect them for always holding the line. But
I'm trying to thumbs down you, but it's not showing up.
no, but you know what hold on. I'm talking about the real maxis that held the line because you need that. You need that. You need that belief, right? Like think
These
about what I'm
aren't
saying.
maxis.
You know who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the dudes that are opening up spaces and pretending to be. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The frontline motherfuckers that never moved a muscle and stood on Bitcoin. All I'm saying is embrace new shit. Embrace it. It's not going to water down Bitcoin. If anything, it's going to make Bitcoin better. That's it. That's how I look at it. Think it's going to make Bitcoin better.
Well,
I don't know. Who am I to say something, right?
Here's the thing about the BIP 110. One, it's been watered down. So it's not even going to prevent the things that they claim to want to prevent, right? So that's the first big glaring issue with it. Second is social media support is not miner support. They're talking about node counts, and sure, they can have a bunch of nodes, but they're a vast minority of those are actually up and running epoch to epoch. So it can be anywhere from 10% to 22% of the nodes that are running knots, and maybe even less that actually support the actual soft fork. The other thing is, you need the miners to support it. And right now, miner signaling is below 1%. Now, granted, there's time for miners to maybe change their mind, but most of the major miners and mining pools have indicated that they are not going to support this, and it's going to fail. And here's the real reason why. Stripping all of the spam on Bitcoin out of it, stripping all of the hyperbolic conversations out of it. Here's why it's going to fail. There's no economic incentive. There's no economic incentive to actually see this succeed. And it doesn't matter which side of the debate you fall on when it comes to that. If there's no economic incentive to actually signal and support this particular BIP, it's just not going to be adopted. And then what will end up happening is, for those that do adopt it, they will end up in a chain split scenario where they're wasting their hash rate and their power. So it becomes an economic loss, which is one of the reasons why even within those miners that are part of different pools, or even part of Ocean, that are running knots, haven't even begun signaling. Maybe they'll all light up and signal, but even at that, you're pushing maybe 2.5% with ancillary on the mining side on a good day with rented hash. And the other big problem is we're all watching the nodes too. You can't just renting nodes saying that you're going to support it. When you run out of money, all those nodes are going to drop down to 5% then. So, and I get the argument. It's they also frame this argument in a really straw man way, because they claim that they want to prevent something that they cannot demonstrate is even a problem on chain. And they use that as a straw man argument in order to push the narrative forward. And that is not hitting home with anyone. I mean, if I was going to be marketing this for them, I also wouldn't be hiring out people that immediately flip their position very late in the game, who were once ordinals and runes supporters.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no, they saw the light. No, they didn't. They're getting paid behind the scenes to support it and pump it out there. There's no way they saw the light. In fact, if you look at some of these people that are notorious shitcoin launchers to begin with, they don't even believe in Bitcoin. They've started up They've started up
Shots
side
fired.
networks. They've started up multiple side networks.
Shots fired.
All of them have failed. And they're not even Bitcoin related, these other networks that some of these people have started up. So, and they continue to promote networks that aren't even Bitcoin. So for them to get in the game now and start saying like, no, I'm totally for this thing because we need to stop spam, and then come up with the stupidest straw man argument that they cannot demonstrate is actually a problem on chain, then guess what? You have no real pull. You're not going to sway anybody. So you're going to get a bunch of like pruned nodes to actually signal support for it. They're pruned nodes. That doesn't even matter. They're not even storing any of the data anyway. So, and it's, oh, well, we're going to template this off. Your templates are broken. And in fact, shout out to LIFO and Leonidas because they are doing the best trolling I've ever seen in my entire life.
They
of
are.
this entire
Leonidas, I
situation.
got to get Leonidas on the show. I said it. He's
Yes.
making me laugh. Like, he is absolutely destroying. By the way,
And
shout out to
LIFO.
Leonidas. Dog on Bitcoin. I'm big on that. I think it's going to bring in huge numbers for Bitcoin in terms of 18 to 35-year-olds. And, you know, shout out. My boy knows his shit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
We
But go
also
ahead.
have a bunch of people in that movement that don't run miners and maybe run a node or two, and that's it.
Yeah.
They've never actually really supported the network. They came in either last cycle or during the bear market or even this cycle in some cases, and they're just like all gung ho, you know. And I've said this before. One of the smartest guys who if they really wanted somebody to have like coherent discussions about it, although he's turned kind of bitter on the entire situation, is Matthew Cratter. I think he's an incredibly smart guy. I kind of think that it's a shame that he's not having nuanced conversations about this stuff with people and has kind of turned to more of the insult side of things, because I think that he's an incredibly intelligent individual. I disagree with him vehemently on very specific particular things. Um, but instead they elevate some of these other people for that side of the movement to be the forefront, talking heads, and they just damage the movement. Maybe that's their goal. Maybe that whole point is to ingratiate themselves to the movement, damage it, throw it off to the side, and go back to supporting ordinals and runes again. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what the game is, because there is a lot of games that have been played over the years when it comes to Bitcoin. For anybody that was here during the block wars, those games very well. So I it's gonna fail. We know it's gonna fail. Because and it's not going to fail for any other reason, in my opinion, other than there is zero economic incentive for it to succeed.
Welcome to the breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 742, sponsored by Midnight, Polymarket, Cake Wallet, and G Markets. That's my bitch. G Markets, that's right. All right, next, moving on from Bitcoin and their fucking problems. I'll say that Solana is going to absolutely dominate, and I know
Salami?
Salami is going to dominate. I think Solana at this point, and I look at this, and things can change. I get it, but I think Solana 100%. This is not financial advice, by the way. I think it could hit 1,000 per coin. I know you might give me pushback on that, but also I think they own now the meme economy, which is a big economy to own, which will then lead for them to have actual users to go ahead and sell products to, which Ethereum has. I mean, even, you know what it is? I watched Vitalik come out and he's still not acknowledging the crowd. He's still not. Ethereum had it. Here's what's disappointing, Landy. Ethereum had it. They had the crowd. It's a big crowd, Landy. It's not a small crowd. It's a big crowd.
Yeah.
And it's a growing crowd. These are and I'm going to tell you this right now, Landy, because this is going to hit you even harder, because you've talked about it. Think about this. You talk about tokenized stocks, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Guess who would have got into tokenized stocks? The meme crowd, right?
Yeah.
If
And
you
they
think
will.
about it, right? What happened when Wall Street bets popped off? Well, it was retail, right? Memers that were getting into AMC and GameStop and all, right? They lost that. They're losing it. Like they are losing it. And you know what? Solana gained it. And they're going to continue to gain that mind share. Eventually, Solana, nobody's going to be talking about shitcoins. It'll eventually mature into people buying, whether it's dope memes or tokenized stocks. And Ethereum dropped the ball. I don't care what you say, Landy, to me. I'm one of the biggest ETH maxes you can fucking find, but Ethereum dropped the fucking ball, okay? I don't give a shit what they're trying to redesign right now, okay? I don't care about the new updated roadmap. I'm all for builders building. You already know that. But this is, you know what? If he wanted to make the right decision, he could have gone out and got a real CEO, front facing, to lead the charge. He hasn't. Instead, he wants to come out and talk about his fucking decentralized governance fucking sci-fi books. Okay, I'm not interested. Nor is anybody else. If I'm Tom Lee, seriously, and I'm not even joking right now. I'm Tom Lee. I just put in mad money into fucking Ethereum. I continue to buy. I own like what? Almost 6 million Ethereum. I'm kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little bit worried. I don't imagine you're sitting at a board meeting and somebody plays a tape of Vitalik sniffing a robotic dog's ass. How do you explain it? Hey, Tom, why'd you put millions upon billions of dollars into this? We are sitting at an $11 billion unrealized fucking loss here. Tell me what made you say, you know what, this is it, after watching tapes of Vitalik just picking his nose, eating his boogers, fucking got him sniffing robotic. Like, what made you? What was it? Because the original co-founders, most of them are gone. They got the polka dots, they got the Cardanos, Midnight. What made you say, you know what, this could be it?
Well, at a certain point, you get trapped
It's
by
the way he was eating
ecosystem
his
you build.
boogers.
Well, look, first off,
No. We
for
got bags of
Solana-
Ethereum, but we need to be honest.
okay, let's be honest. First off, Ethereum needs to trend break by closing a weekly at minimum above $100. Then you can
And
start
Tom
thinking
Lee
about
needs to
higher.
stop buying.
Well, that's Solana, but with Ethereum, I told you.
Tom Lee needs to stop buying Ethereum.
Well, here's the thing. I told you this when the EIP to move when there was actually the fork over to proof of stake.
Yeah.
One of the things that I mentioned at the time was obviously that I wasn't going to be supporting the network anymore. Not that I wasn't going to hold Ethereum, but from the mining side, right? I'm not going to, I can go over and get involved in the validator side and all this other stuff, right? There's other ways to get involved, but I was going to basically wash my hands of that. And essentially, what you got to understand is a lot of the folks that moved over, the economic incentive was to keep things rolling, right? Was to support the layer 1 and then participate in building the additional layers, layer 2s, right? Because now you can essentially, if you're early, you can make a ton of money. And then everything, as they started to support the layer 2s, started to roll up to the layer 2s, right? So all of the economic incentives started to go away from layer 1 in terms of fee generation and volume. And that has, at first it was fine because you could eat in a couple of different ways, right? You're eating on layer 1, you're eating on layer 2s through supporting the network that way. But over time,
sorry, Landy, goal scored by I don't know who.
well, over time, what that did is that eroded volume on layer 1, and it became exactly what I said it was going to do. It was going to cannibalize layer 1. And it was going to disincentivize people from utilizing and launching on the network, and somebody was going to come along and steal their thunder. Honestly, I think the biggest detriment to it was two major events. It was Solana with the meme coins taking volume, and then it was Hyperliquid, right? With EVM having EVM compatibility and gathering up a bunch of institutional support. So you had meme coins on one side, and then you had institutions on the other. And now Ethereum's kind of lost because most of those L2s that were being built to service, meme coin narratives and then institutional narratives didn't have a coherent enough message. And you had killer product, whether you like Pump Fun or not, it was a killer product and a killer app on a competing network that cannibalized all of the mind share away. Yes, we had runners on various L2s for ETH, but they paled in comparison when it came to volume for Solana. And now everything is paling in comparison to the volume that Hyperliquid is putting on. So Ethereum, I don't think is going to go anywhere. They have, when everybody refers back to the TVL. So, but you need a killer product. And killer product, if you're going to build it, you're going to want to build it on layer one if the direction is going to be to focus on layer one. But then you have, then how do you square that up with all of these investors that invested heavily into the network side for these layer twos, right? So you literally are fighting yourself at this point. So I think that it's going to be a bit messy, but I think that they have the opportunity to seize on the volume side of things with all of that TVL when it comes to stock tokens and RWAs, and they have to do a lot of work to get the meme coiners back.
Yeah, but you know what it is? They're not the cool brand. Ethereum was never the cool brand. Like, respectfully, like it's hard to pronounce, right? For people. No, I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. Like when you would say Ethereum, people, unless it would take you a few tries to get it right. So it was just like it was already. It was already not a cool brand, and it doesn't have to be cool as long as it works and it does what it's supposed to do. I get it, but like it wasn't cool with the people I'm talking about, like retail. Wasn't cool with them. Solana did something which and the battles that Ethereum had with BNB, where BNB said we're taking over, and this one taking over, that one. They won all those battles. Solana, it's different, Landy. They have made products where people their products are built to where you understand them, easy to use.
Yeah,
it's not difficult to understand. They're not using like fucking words that people don't know how to pronounce out here. That's bottom line. They've really catered to the crowd. That's why they're winning.
It's about product at the end of the day. That's really what it comes down to. It's easy to use, and the marketing's really good.
That's it. And the founders engage with the people. They're out there engaging, like totally engages with the people. I don't care what anybody says, like totally out there. The founders of the products being built on Solana, they're engaging with the people. And they're definitely going after the younger cats out here.
Yep.
I did, by the way, I did save Argentina. Of course I did. Of course I did. I told Messi what the fuck is going on. And what happens? What happens? Y'all don't want to tune into me? Messi with a goal. That's right. That's right. Greatest of all time. I told you. Sorry, Landy. Okay? Don't worry. You know what? Messi scores another one. 3-2 victory by Argentina. Sorry, Landy.
Well, as for the market, you mentioned
market sentiment. That was where I was going next. Okay, yeah. Somebody said Ethereum is AOL, and I agree.
Oh boy, still around, never dead, but still there. Somebody's gonna buy them. Tom Lee's gonna CTO it. I mean, at this point, he might. Right? Like, how much of his money is going into the Ethereum labs right? Because they're basically in
I
a restructuring right now.
I saved Argentina.
You saved Argentina. Oh boy.
I might have saved the economy as well, not unknowingly.
Maybe.
Okay, let's go to the markets. Okay, because I know you got a hard on for the markets.
I do. I actually want to show you something pretty easy here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
It's big, so be careful.
whoa!
All Diddy. Coming right at your eyeballs.
I knew there was something sus, bro. I knew. You know, the first day we spoke, there was something a little bit off, bro.
One of the big things here is for Ethereum, this is a key level. I told you here and under, I'm fine picking up spot on Ethereum. But it's very clear, this is a weekly. We just put in a lower high on Ethereum. So realistically, the only
Bro, are you
thing,
really charting Ethereum right now?
of course, I'm charting Ethereum
Really?
because you were just talking about it. So
You
look,
said this shit was going to $800. Why do I care?
because this will help you determine if it's gonna get there, right? So here
Are
is
you having a
something.
change of heart? Do you think it doesn't go to 800?
I think that there's still a high probability if Bitcoin drops the lows and goes for another leg down that we will see Ethereum eventually work its way to this low side, $1,000 to under, right? About 800 to $1,000 is fair. But
Oh my
something
god,
to
my
be
nuts
aware
hurt
of.
right now. My nuts hurt. My fucking nuts hurt with these conversations, man.
Well, I want you to observe that there is a lower high that Ethereum is trying to make its way towards. There is a local. This is not this is not something to get excited about, but could provide for some further upside, maybe even some juice for the bears. But we'll find out. If we do see a weekly close above right around 1850, that would be a trend break. That would be a structure change on the weekly. And as long as the lows are holding up, we can maybe hunt for some higher low structure. Um, Realistically, nothing doing below like 2450 to 2500. But if we do get a structure change, then I would be on the lookout, right? And here's the invalidation. The invalidation is closes below the lows, right? Which is essentially weekly railroad spikes. They're not back to back on each candle, but essentially equal lows there. And the structure that I'd be looking for would be if we can see a trend break, right? Let's say we go to $2,000 or something. If we see a trend break, has to close specifically above 1850, then we can start evaluating if we get a higher low trend reversal setup, because that would be a trend break to a potentially higher low or equal low as it relates to this last low, and then we can look for that to become a reversal setup. Doesn't mean that it would play, but that's something that I'm watching. Otherwise, the other scenario is down further, which would be into the support zone a bit further, which is a big support zone right around 1500 to right around 1350 or so before actually going in for the lows. So that's one thing that I'd be watching for Ethereum. For Solana, here's what you want to see for Solana. This is actually pretty important because Solana just reclaimed an area to the downside. There's some there's some areas lower that Solana could head towards, 45 to $50 or 45 to 48 if you're looking specifically. But 45 to 50
I don't
bucks
think it
is,
goes there. Landy, honestly, I don't think it goes
well,
there.
here's the easiest thing to watch for, because we have a downtrending structure. We did just reclaim 75 on a weekly, which is important. One of the big things that I would be paying attention to is just where the last lower high is, and interestingly, I would take the actual. Some people are going to chart it a little bit more aggressively with 97. I would say any kind of a trend break is something that you want to pay attention to for this next lower high, because as it stands right now, this was not a lower high here. This was just a local swing. This did not close the lower high. It was a lower high swing to higher low swing, but this was not a closing lower high. So the actual lower high to beat is right around 98 to $100 for the higher term timeframes. I know that there's many that are going to be like, no, 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 it's a lower high, higher low. That's on a swing. We did not get a closing lower high here. The last closing lower high is off of the structure here and down to this lower low. So we would need to see something like this, right? Doesn't have to do what I'm showing here. I'm just showing that we need to see a trend break and we need to see higher low. So trend break to higher low or equal low as it relates to the $60 low there. That's where a trend reversal could potentially start to form. So closes above 98 to $100 is what you'd like to see, or we see another lower high close to a higher low. So it's all about just holding the low, seeing if this was going to be a lower high, or even if it pushes up a little bit further in the coming week or so, another lower high. We just need to see, in that case, if we saw another lower high close, specifically, we'd need to see a higher low trend reversal to a trend break of that lower high, right? So it's either going to do one of two things. You look for the trend break to the trend reversal, whether it be here or here, doesn't really matter. It's all about trend break to trend reversal, or we get another lower high and we see if we get a trend reversal to then trend break of a lower high, whether it be, right here or a bit higher, doesn't really matter. That's the setup on the weekly. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because if we don't get continuation to the downside sooner rather than later, we're going to start to run into that end of Q3 into Q4, where I do think that we'll start to see a macro low being set for Bitcoin and thus for altcoins. And altcoins typically have historically, we have less data, right? But have historically bottomed before Bitcoin or held their lows in and around the bottom before Bitcoin has actually formed its macro bottom. So the reason that I'm pointing that out is because this is the time frame that everybody wants to be here. This is when you want to be here, is for these prices and lower, for accumulation and for structural changes that start to present that opportunity to shift into bull market structure again. Starts with the weekly, then it goes to the monthly. And look, I'm going to be straight up with you that this is ugly right here for Solana, but any kind of closes above 98 to $100, that's the low in. But that doesn't mean it's a macro low, because the lower high is all the way up here.
Bro, you see the people? Argentina won! I told you! Did it not? Wow. Y'all motherfuckers don't understand by now, man. Whether it's crypto, whether it's life advice, whether it's sports.
Wow. Now, they were favored, right?
Yeah, and you got Egypt that was whipping the ass. I'm like, what is happening?
That's wild.
What a comeback. What a comeback. You're welcome. You're all welcome.
That's wild.
Fernandez puts them ahead 3-2. Wow.
I need to address this. It says the charts don't always provide any real insight. What matters is trend. How are you going to track the trend if you're not looking at the chart, bro? Like, what are you talking about? I'm literally talking about trend as it relates to the chart.
By the way, I just want to let you know about your charts. Our visibility on TikTok yet again is restricted for unoriginal content. Bro, I can't win with them. I can't win with them. Can you imagine? We can't even have a program. It is crazy on TikTok. I gotta tell you, they are absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, talk about your RSI and MACD candlesticks.
No,
cloud.
I'm gonna take the piss out of this person for a second.
Oh my God. Here you go. Get angry at the guy who's living with his grandma eating chunky soup and shit.
I'm not angry. I don't
You are angry.
What? Why
Absolutely
would I be
angry.
angry?
Look at you.
Be
I sense
angry
it. The
with
puppet's getting
somebody that
angry.
says that look, somebody who says something like that either mistyped, misspoke, or doesn't understand what they're saying. You look at the chart to determine what the trend is. For instance, on Bitcoin, if we see weekly closes above 67,260 now, that'd be a trend break. And that would also be right around the criteria above 65 essentially on closes that would also set this low. And that's what you'd want to see for Bitcoin to then, start to carve out a low is break the trend and then try for higher low equal low structure. Otherwise, and you still have to be aware that that still could drop the lows. That's the invalidation. If we do see a trend
Yeah.
break, is drop the lows, and that's where we could potentially see lower. But the big thing here is the criteria is very, very clear. We drop the lows, we're going to go lower. But if we trend break, you look for higher low equal low setup to start to develop on the weekly. And then that's something that we could potentially entertain as setting direction again for further upside. And then here's the beautiful thing, David. This is where the rubber really does meet the road. Because for Bitcoin during the summer into fall, is to pay attention to the monthly. We have a lower high. It's at 82.8. Any closes above would be a trend break on the monthly. And then that would start to look like any kind of move back down for higher low equal low structure. Macro low is in, and then we move on. Um, and that's kind of the name of the game. And that's going to be something to watch for. So if we don't get continuation down into the mid to low 50s, fill out the wicks over here, is we have to start entertaining based on the weekly first. If we get a trend break, some higher low structure, we have to start entertaining any moves to 82.8. If the monthly starts closing above there, that is a downtrend break. Very highly likely looking at because of the time period in the markets. I'd start looking at this as, any kind of moves back down after a trend break on the monthly. We're probably looking at higher low equal low structure and macro low being in. That doesn't mean that that's going to be the way things play, but that is something that we have to entertain. And that's invalidation, obviously, is on any continuation because this is a trend break of the last higher low to a lower high. So now we either look for a trend break back up to a higher low trend reversal and then boom up, or we look for continuation down. And, it's pretty simple. This is a very important time period to be here in the markets and paying attention to identify value. I've said it many, 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 many times now. The 60K and under region, all perfect for accumulation, even if we were to see another leg lower or a massive move down, which, I'm not totally confident in us seeing that. It's going to be based on the conditions that I'm watching on the daily as it relates to the weekly into that monthly. So, I think this is the best time to be here in the markets. And also, I think that you are 100% right. Sentiment is turning around in the wider markets, maybe not directly as it relates to Bitcoin. That's more on a tick by tick, day by day basis. But in terms of the general trend of people getting excited about cryptocurrencies and especially memes, you
Yeah.
can see that it is coming back. So I can't disagree with you there. And that's actually what we saw last cycle, um, right before the bottom came in for Bitcoin. People were
The
starting to get
memes
excited.
ran first, and then
Yeah.
everything else started to happen, right?
Yeah. And the narrative and sentiment shift before Bitcoin's final leg down was the same. Everybody was starting to come back, starting to evaluate, launching contracts, sitting around waiting, just kind of biding time until Bitcoin's low came in for the macro low. And then it was go time. Then memes it was like anything you touched, it was Green Candle City for a while.
For sure.
Um, I don't think we're quite there yet, but you can see that people are back, right? And sentiment is turning around and people are interested again. And I think that's good. It's good timing.
We'll be back with more on memes because I want to talk about the meme economy because that leads into everything else sending. And hopefully, we have an altcoin season I'm hoping for one. I know what Landy's going to say, but we'll be right back. Let me go ahead and take this off because I know what happens when I don't. But we'll be right back after this commercial break. If you don't see it on TikTok, it's because TikTok apparently believes commercials are not allowed to play. I don't know. We'll be right back.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Ladies and gentlemen, we all know this in crypto. Ownership matters. That's why Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet gives you full control of your digital assets, all in one easy-to-use application. You can store Bitcoin, Litecoin, Zcash, Monero, and many more with just one secure backup. Swap between coins in seconds. No copying addresses, no complicated steps, and even includes Bitcoin Lightning for faster payments. And with Cake Wallet built in, you can use crypto in real life through debit cards or gift cards. Simple, secure, self-custody. Download Cake Wallet and take control of your crypto. All right, we're back. Welcome back to the breakdown, episode 742, ahead of myself. Sponsored by Midnight. Shout out to Midnight City. Come join me in Midnight City. Come watch me as I sleep all day and then I go mine for a few minutes. I'm ridiculous. I am ridiculous. But you know what? There are a lot of people that have, with everything that's gone on, people have started. I've gained so much. By the way, when am I hitting 1 million followers on X? When am I hitting 1 million followers on X? I've gained a lot of followers in the last few days, but when are we hitting 1 million? I've been stranded at 800 for fucking years already. When are we going for the million? I should do something. When we hit 1 million followers, I'm going to do something. We hit $1 million, a million followers. I was about to say something, and then I held back. I think you know where I was going. Shout out to Poly Market, the official prediction market sponsor of the breakdown. Cake Wallet, also a partner and sponsor of the show. Landy.
Yes, sir.
I got a new. Well, I've always said tokenization is great, even when people didn't agree with me. I got a new perspective on everything that's happening. Do you have a newfound perspective on everything that's happened? Like, you've gotten to watch this. Has your mind changed about? I don't want to call them I don't want to call it KOL tokens. I think that's unfair because then everybody gets bunched into that little fucking jar called KOL tokens. Do you see it? Do you see it as a benefit? I see it as a benefit for the platform. Whatever platform or personal brand you have, I think it's a benefit. I think it allows you to grow out an audience or do really cool stuff. Go ahead. You want to go ahead and say nope? I'd love to hear it. You're already laughing, so the silence already tells me where you're going with this.
Look, I think that if the expectations are set right for what it is, sure, but it's always subject to price direction when you have any kind of tradable asset. Doesn't matter if you're Michael Saylor, it doesn't matter if you're Ansem, doesn't matter if you're David Gokhstein or anybody else. As soon as price is sentiment, right? So when prices fall, it's always going to reflect poorly on whoever is the proponent of said thing. When prices
Correct.
rise, you get to reap all of the glory and rewards socially. So, in that respect, if not handled the correct way, I think that it can be damaging to brands. Because in how it typically damages brands is because of promises that are unfulfilled, right? That I don't think, for instance, in certain cases, that anybody's going to begrudge anyone for promoting something that went into a bear market, right? When everything's going into a bear market.
I disagree.
Well, here's the difference, though.
You know why?
Fulfilled the promises during the bull market that you said that you were going to fulfill, then no one can really blame you. They don't have a leg to stand on. But if you don't fulfill those promises during the bull market, then everyone will look at you, whoever you are, whether you're Sailor, Ansem, or anyone else, or you, or me. They will look at it and go, well, they said to get this thing because number go up, and then they said they were going to do X, Y, Z, and they didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then they have a leg to stand on when we're in a bear market or when prices go down. But if prices go down and somebody did fulfill the promises that they said they were going to make for that particular thing, then they don't have a leg to stand on. And I think that a lot of people here give everybody on the timeline so much to chew on because they don't follow through with what they said they were going to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it really comes down to. I think people understand markets go up and down. It's not just cryptocurrencies.
But you know what? I don't think everybody does. I think these new people that do come in, they expect it to go up all the time. But that's why the only reason I say that, Landy, is because that's why people round trip.
Well, yeah, some of
Right?
it's
Like, think about it.
miscalculation. Yeah. I
Like-
think they might think they have well, here's the difference, David, is I think some people expect it to get to their numbers in the head that they, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, whether it's a shit coin, whether it's a meme coin, doesn't really matter. I think people get the idea of a specific number in their head, and then they start doing the math and they calculate how much money they would make if it went to X number. And then they forget that the markets go up and down. They go into bull markets and bear markets, and they don't actually, then they panic when it goes down. They end up round tripping. They sell at a loss and they buy the highs and chase. And that's psychology. And I think that setting expectations realistically and taking profits regularly and getting in and out of position as needed, or just building in a bear market and waiting for the rest of the market to pull everything forward is going to be the best play for everybody. That's why I keep saying this is the best time to be in the market right now through the fall is when you want to be here. Because especially if you're a long-term investor and you're not a trader and you just want to accumulate, that's when you want to pick the stuff that you want to accumulate so that when the bull market comes back, you can experience all the gains. But you have to remember, don't set unrealistic expectations. Just take profit methodically. Make sure that you are paying yourself and then you can reevaluate when it shifts structure into a bull market, and then it pulls back violently, and whether or not you want to get back in and hit the green button again, right? It's just, I think
Do
that
you
it's
do you like what
unrealistic
Ansem is?
expectation.
Let me ask you a question. Like,
Ooh.
do you like what Ansem is doing?
So I I don't dislike what he is doing currently. But I don't know if what he's doing is going to work, right? We've seen things like this being tried. It's a twist on things that we've seen that have been tried before. And I think that if he proves out the concept, and the market will determine if it's successful or not. And if it is successful, I think that it probably bodes very, very well for those that are in that and participating in that. I think that he's got to prove that model first, right? We can't just look at market cap right now. This is something that is in the process. And if he sees it through to the end by fulfilling the promises that he's making, that's the big thing. He's got to fulfill the promises that he's making. If he does, it could be a game changer, not just for him, but for the people holding the token. If he doesn't, it's going to fall flat on its face like
Or
many of the things that have come before.
for personal brands in crypto, right?
I
Like, think about like what
I
he
like
like.
what he's doing. I know there's people who hate on it. I don't dislike it. I actually like it. I don't
But
think
I'm
that it's a
saying like
bad
what he's
idea.
doing is he's growing out his personal brand.
But he's also growing out the community and rewarding the community. We need to see if that comes to fruition in totality, though.
Well, like he like I understand that. I
Yeah.
get that. I 100% get that. My like obviously I have an idea of like I've already said what I'd like to do. And that is, there are content creators that can get sponsored. They great Lanley, how many content creators do phenomenal fucking like they do phenomenal content, show up every day, do great content, they can't get sponsored, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I know.
What if we can shine a light on these people? Like, is that bad? Like, what if I, hypothetically speaking, like I'm just, we're having a conversation here.
Yeah.
Finance, I don't even know what to call it. It's not any advice, but I don't even know what the fuck to call
If
that.
you elevate people, you just have to be, and this is where is it more about elevating or rewarding, right? And I think that the incentive structure in cryptocurrency, especially when it comes to meme coin, has been buy and sell quickly, right? Because you're going to get dumped on. That has been the expectation in meme
That's gonna
coins for a
happen
while.
though. Like here's the biggest thing I've been thinking about, Landy. If you reward people that have not supported you, they're going to sell.
I agree,
And
but
what
it's how you
happens is
reward them.
they're gonna drag the market cap, since everybody's infatuated with the fucking market cap instead of the mission itself, right? Instead of
Yeah.
being a part of an ecosystem, right? You can call it a niche ecosystem, and that's fine. Like that is whatever they do within that niche, and however they reward people within that niche, that's their business, right? Think about what I'm saying here.
Yeah.
You got your own audience, that's your niche, and you're rewarding people with what you feel. You know where I'm going with this. So
Yeah.
now, if you reward people that do not support you or do not support whatever you've laid out, because it's not a utility, it's just like a mission that you're on, right? You want to grow out your audience, hypothetically speaking, right? Or you
Mhm.
want to help grow out crypto. You want to bring more people into crypto. But these people need to go ahead and be supportive and understand what the fuck you're doing, because otherwise you send something to people and it's going to backfire. It's going to really backfire on you, and it's going to affect, air quote, the price. And then people, you already know how people are. They're emotional. It's when it's green, you're great. When it's red, you're worse than anybody who's ever walked the fucking planet, right? So
Yeah.
that's how you're judged. You're not judged on what you're building. You're not judged on the ecosystem. You're not judged on an ecosystem providing people with an enormous amount of value, right? They could care less about that as soon as price starts to wobble. And that's going to happen when a bear market hits. And I agree with you. When a bear market hits, that shit's happening. It doesn't matter who you are. Elon can't send Dogecoin, respectfully. It doesn't matter who the fuck you are. You could be the richest man in the world. That shit ain't going.
Well, here's the difference, though. It's if you're going to, you can reward everyone with the proper incentivization structure because it's a self-perpetuating incentive, right? If there is, the incentive is, for like what Ansem's doing. If the incentive is that you're going to get Solana in your wallet, then the incentive is self-perpetuating in theory. Like at least a portion of those rewards go back into the token, because then that generates more volume, which generates more fees, which means more rewards that can go back in. It's cyclical in terms of its economics in that regard. But the moment that you start applying sell side, because that's buy side pressure, right? Because that's fees that were generated by the community through the trading platform, that then if that is recirculated back to reward those who are holding and buying and supporting or running initiatives or whatever it might be, then that is a flywheel that can continue, because the incentive is you invest back in the token, which generates more volume, which generates more fees, which then gets more rewards, so on and so forth. So it's a self-perpetuating, and I've argued this for many years, that meme coins and meme coiners need to be doing this. If you are the dev of a project, or if you are looking at a project in a specific way where you have essentially you have a treasury, whether it's you launched it, or somebody aimed fees at you, or you CTO something, right? You keep some for development of the project and whatever you're going to do in-house, but then you reward that back so that that can become buying pressure against that selling pressure in the market, right? Is it always going to be successful? No, because this is still a hype driven, memes are hype driven and meme driven, right? In terms of popularity. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be forever more perpetual, flywheels, but
Yeah.
at least you have the opportunity where people feel like, hey, they can be rewarded in some part for contributing, even people who would not normally contribute. Because, like, let's say, they want to go in and put on a bunch of volume right onto the chart. Well, they're generating a bunch of volume, which generates a bunch of fees. And if they have a certain percentage of holdings and they get rewarded Solana for those holdings, and they go and they shove it right back into the chart, right? That's just more volume, right? So
Yeah.
the problem is many of, and we've seen all these people who then, well, I've got all this supply of the token, let me just airdrop the token to get it better distributed.
I
Really, all
watched
you're
it, and
doing is
it's stupid. Like, I've
you're
watched
just
this.
applying sell side pressure. That's
Correct.
all you're
Like, I
doing.
think it's the dumbest thing, respectfully. Like, it's fixable, but I'm just saying, sitting back and watching it, I'm like, I'm not talking about I'm not talking about anybody specific. I'm just like, you're giving people that have no incentive of being in your in your ecosystem. Like,
Yeah.
they don't care about it. They don't care about you. They don't care about they don't care about the message. They don't care what you're trying to do. But I understand from a marketing perspective, I understand I understand where they're coming from also, because hey, I'll give somebody who doesn't know anything about crypto, like, here's a few XYZ, right? And you're hoping that they join in and become a part, or get to know who you are as a person, whatever it is, right? But only 1 out of 10 will do that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Like, when something is free, I'll say this: when something's free, nobody really takes it seriously. Like,
Yeah.
in my mind, psychologically, when you buy something, you're gonna care about it, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Or when you buy, how do I say it in a way? I'm not saying buy anything in terms of like token shit like that. I'm saying when you buy into a program, right? Let's say you're on a team. Coach comes in, he has a new strategy of winning. You buy into the culture, correct? You get what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
When you
You gotta
buy
have
into
skin in the
something,
game.
you invest in terms of invest into that program.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with money. Has nothing to do with buying anything, but investing into the program and being a part of it and seeing the good that it can do. That's when you build something special.
Well, yeah, and this is where I think that, you know, one of the opportunities with Pump Fund, and I think that this was a positive change. And I've
And
had
also,
very
real quick, this is what I want to say. Real quick, this is one thing I want to say. Because I keep it a buck, and I'm watching all this stuff. A lot of these people think that, well, here it's your brand, right? It's your brand that you're gonna put on the line, right? But
Mhm.
let's keep it 100. And they expect you not to get a cent out of it. They're gonna profit, however it is. But the person who puts their name on it doesn't. He gets or she gets nothing. So that is something that is really crazy that I've been
Yeah.
watching.
Well,
You know,
I mean, look, there's ways in which to reward a community, and I think that there are, various vectors, right? Fee generation is the best vector, and I think that this I've been very critical of Pump Fund, but when they started doing the creator rewards program, I said, they could turn things around for the trenches. Um, a little, I think that it's set up for the next big narrative for memes is creators and teams and of projects at CTO getting those creator rewards or whatever it might be, and then redirecting those because there's multiple vectors, right? If there's volume on the chart, you continue to see fee generation, and then you can expand that, right? If you got a soul pair, then you can take some of the fees that are generated and start up a USDC, pair liquidity pool, and you can generate fees that way. And now you've got two vectors for fee generation. And then you can take a portion of that and split it out to reward the community, that hopefully will reinvest that, Solana or USDC back into the project. And then that creates more fees, which then is that self-perpetuating economic loop. And, that contributes to the stability as well of the project, having a robust liquidity. Now, one of the biggest problems, over the years that I've seen is that people then, instead of like, doing a stable pair and like we'll just use a Solana pair on
there's
Solana.
another one. Look at that.
What's that?
Lockup supply also helps reassurance.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends on how it's done, right?
No, but
But
like it's
if you
just like
lock supply in a liquidity pool, at least you're generating fees for yourself and the community,
all,
like
all I'm
Ansem or
saying is
you
that
or
like
anybody else.
I am going. This is why I go into projects that are led by people who've built businesses. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, Landy?
Yeah.
Like if you, and this is where you have to pause for a second and think about what the fuck you're doing. Because you're gonna have people that have never built a business tell you how you're supposed to run your shit and how they see themselves profiting from your brand. Do you get where I'm coming from? They,
Yeah.
they could care less about you, respectfully. There are people that care, but there are outsiders that don't give a fuck, and they're looking for, oh, you do that and you do this, which benefits me, and fuck you. It's like that doesn't work. Do you understand? Like, even if you look at Ansem right now, right? He's like in a really fucking, the stress is gonna eat him because he's doing something which is like he's trying to make that shit work, and you're gonna have so many people, and you see it on the timeline, whether you like Ansem or not. Like, again, I have no relationship with him. We're not friends. Not that it's I'm just saying in general, like, but I could
Well,
tip my cap to somebody trying to build something, bro. Like, in general, but he's gonna have a lot of fucking pressure, a lot.
the moment that
You have voices from every which corner telling you what the fuck you should be doing,
the
while
largest
milking the fuck out
price
of your brand.
look, the largest price collapse will just lead to the haters coming out and, comparing
Well, they're
this
praying
to
for it.
whatever
You don't
else,
see the
and then
timeline? They are fucking praying. Like, I've never seen a space. Let me tell you something right now. Anthony, I'm sorry, but like I've never seen an industry which prays that we don't win. Like that is crazy.
Well,
like if he wins and you don't like him, whatever your reasons are not to like him, but if it actually works, then it benefits the industry.
if the
Like,
model
like
works, yeah.
yeah, like the model works. There could be tweaks done for different personalities, whatever it is. Why do you? Let me ask you guys this question, and this is all with all due respect to Gary Vee. But the outsiders that come into this space, y'all champion them and root for them. Again, respectfully, Gary Vee, I'm not trying to diss you. Anybody who comes from outside of this space, y'all champion for these people. Y'all love these people. You don't know these people, but you champion for them. The people within this space who have laid out their time, given value, done everything possible to lay or help build the foundation here. As soon as they try to something, nope, we want them to lose. I hate you. I want you to lose. What is up with that? So you guys fucking bow down to people who are outside of this industry that come here, who take way more money out of this industry with their brands. They milk the fuck out of this industry, yet people who are in this industry, who help build the industry, can't do nothing within the industry to go ahead and build their brand. So what the fuck? Why does anybody want to be here? Think about it. Why would you want to build anything here if you're not going to get the support from your own people? Not that you if you're a winner, you're going to win anyway, but like, holy shit, you're running against your own people are trying to drown you. Yet when somebody comes in from the outside, somebody famous, notable, y'all love them. Y'all willing to do anything for them, get on your knees for them. I've seen it. What? Have we not seen it 2 cycles in a row?
Oh, yeah. Even prior to that. But
Respect to Gary Vee. I'm not even dissing Gary Vee. I'm just going to lay it out. Gary Vee made fucking sketches with a marker. And y'all bought it. Good for him. It's capitalism. He good for him. But when somebody else sketches some shit out, y'all mad. You want to go ahead and open up 19 spaces on why this is bad. When Luca, I'm going to give you this example. When Luca who purchased the Pudgy Penguins for $2.5 million to grow a personal brand out, you guys open up spaces to try to destroy him and his character. What is the fucking incentive to be in this industry? There is none. If you really look at, no, Landy, seriously, think about it. If you really look at it, what is the incentive for somebody within the industry who has helped be a part of the culture? What is their incentive? There is none. There are a bunch of people that are just waiting. And especially, we used to be friends, but now we're not friends because I see they're just trying. What are we doing? That's why nobody takes crypto seriously. That's how I perceive it. If I'm looking from the outside inland and I see what's going on, I see that, no, you can't take it seriously. Yeah, yo, come build here. Take Charles. Charles, co-founder of Ethereum. Is it bad? Is Ethereum bad? No, right? Charles created Cardano. You can say whatever you want, but there's a thriving community, whether you like to see it or not, right? And now he has Midnight. He has 3 things. He's built things outside of this space, though. It's not just here. He's built things outside. He gets tortured here. Think about it. A builder gets tortured here. Rumors are made up. All things to go ahead and take out. Why?
Well,
yeah, Charles is outspoken 100%.
It's
but you know what?
Media.
XRP, Ripple also have said things about Ethereum. I mean, Brad Garlinghouse has said things about Ethereum. I mean, people are allowed to have opinions here, and I'm all for it, whether I agree with them or not. But they're to go ahead and, like, even with Ripple, I never understood why you don't have to like XRP. You don't have to like the product, you don't have to like the token, but holy shit. It's like motherfuckers were praying that they were going to lose that lawsuit. They were praying for it. When if they won, which if they did, it was a benefit. It was a benefit. That's all I'm saying, Landy. Like it's really, you look at this space, man. I think we are the only industry that really, really doesn't want to see our own people win, man.
Well, I mean, part of it is for those that have been here a long time, they've seen a lot of broken promises and a lot of folks who they might have
Landy, like you just
looked
said that
up
line,
to.
and I gotta hit you with this line. A lot of broken promises. So what? You gonna believe fucking people from the sports world, from the entertainment world when they come in?
No, I get it. That's not my point. My point is that a lot of people are jaded because they've seen a lot of broken promises. They've seen a lot of unfulfilled um, actions, and they've seen a lot of deception over the years. And you become jaded, right? So they just chase the hottest thing now, right? So whatever the hot thing is, they'll chase, and just continue to perpetuate that cycle of getting blown up by these new entrants that come in and pitch a lot more promises. Because for anybody that's been here for a long time, it's like, okay, well, this is going to only last so long. I might as well jump in and jump out. That's why I think it's important that real economic models are built that can stand the test of time. Whether they do or not will be determined by the market. And we have seen a lot of good people build a lot of good stuff. And speaking of, the the Pengu token, like it bottomed out right around the same lows that it did, last time, just around
But I
33,000,
think, I think Luca made a mistake on that one.
or I'm
What you
sorry,
know,
360 mil.
the one thing that I appreciate Luca, and listen,
Yeah.
he's smart enough to understand what he's doing. So I'm not, I hate to be critical or whatever, but like he should have just rewarded the people that supported Pudgy
Whoa,
Penguins.
whoa. He did outsize reward people who supported Punchy Penguins. And
Now
here's
listen,
my problem with stuff like that.
hold on. He went to other, like he rewarded everybody.
For distribution purposes. Like I
Correct, and
understand
I respect
the
it.
ethos, but it's
No, but
downward pressure from then on out.
that's what I'm saying. It's just like you have people that have no conviction, but I get like from a brand perspective, if I can get just 1 out of the 10 to see Pudgy Penguins, it's a win. Like I
Well,
get that. Like this where I'm,
well,
but using
but my point to you is that here with the economic model that he used, there were people that invested and bought NFTs that invested a lot of money. How much of that actually made its way to the main project to get the rewards to boot things up for to bootstrap the liquidity pools and all that to generate the fees? I don't know because I'm not Luca. I admire what he tried to do, and one of the big things that you have to pay respect to those that effed around and found out and are still here building and trying to make good on the promises and the vision that they have in this space. That's the problem, is that when you have people like Luca who are here, still here, who are building a brand, who have contributed a lot, made a lot of people very, 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 very rich, by the way. I'm a Bitcoin puppet and I got a very substantial airdrop. I also sold quite a lot of the NFT on the way up. So, I made out well myself. But the big thing is you gotta. I don't understand the hate for people like him and others that stick around,
I
continue to build.
understand the hate. I just told you why they hate.
But no, because it's manufactured hate from those people who
It's
bought the
no,
top.
because whatever you, well, fine, Landy, manufactured, but then you have people that are gullible to believe it. Like how many people
Sure.
actually research the things that they go into, Landy? Like if people researched
No,
the things,
they get a CA and they ape. That's
that's what
that's
I'm
what they
saying.
do.
There's no research. Like you imagine if somebody actually, what do I always say? People ask me, what should I do in crypto? I'm like, I hate to give out advice, but what I would do if I just came into crypto would be I would take 3 to 4 weeks to look at the environment, to understand it, go into other shows, whether I like people or not, just listen, take out a goddamn notepad and just write shit down. Write it down and then ultimately come to a conclusion whether this space is for me or not. You have people that run in here because cousin Joe went ahead and apparently made money, on some shit within a week's time, and is no longer working at a fucking IHOP or Home Depot. So now, now they're running in here. They don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, that guy's a bad guy. Perception, right? You said it's manufactured. Well, that perception's strong. You hear
Well,
something bad about somebody, you believe it. That's it. Like that person's bad.
well,
Until
because there
you until you
because
hear
there
them.
is so much because there are so many that are bad actors. That's
I
why.
get that. I get that,
Because
but I'm
it's so
talking
it's
about
easy to smear others as being bad actors
but who
in the
are really
space.
the hold on, but who are the real bad guys? Let's talk about who are the real bad guys. I think the people manufacturing the fucking noise are really the bad guys. Like it's
Yeah,
justified
but
for some people to
that
get
doesn't
ripped
mean that
apart.
there aren't a lot of people that run away with funds. That doesn't mean that there's not a bunch of ruggers everywhere.
I'm not
No,
saying
because
that.
there is.
There
But
is.
but there's people who see that pattern and somebody that has a good vision for what they're trying to build and is trying to build that and apply that pattern to them. I don't actually fault people for that if they're being honest, right? If they honestly do think like, hey, I've seen this before and it looks like this, I don't blame them for having that particular sentiment because it has been such a well, I also think that people, but then there's also the anytime somebody takes profit on something, then oh my God, they're the worst person ever, right? Like, oh, you had a big NFT holder or a big meme coin holder, and they promoted it, and then they take profit, and then they're like, oh well, you're a scammer, and you're this or that, and it's like, so there's different. The context always matters, but we never see the context when people are throwing out accusations for people in the space and cannibalizing our own here because their context does matter, but we never see that context coming from people who are on the attack. Um, and Luca experienced a lot of it, no context, right? They're applying context from other people and other projects and other chains to what he was trying to build and what he has been building. And
I
look,
feel
it's
like
still
Luca
around.
has been the example. Like he set the blueprint.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I'm not in his head. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking. But I think Ansem looked. If I'm a smart person, I'm looking at what what Luca did, and then I'm tweaking it towards my audience, right? I mean that's the way that I would be thinking.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of experimentation still happening. And we have to remember that it's at every level, even institutions that are going into hyperliquid and, VCs that are putting money into projects and, uh, putting money up front to tokenize assets and like all this kind of stuff. That we're literally at the bleeding edge of trying to figure these systems out and what works and what doesn't. And yeah, we have history to learn from, but anytime you push a new boundary, you're in uncharted territory and it's either going to work or it's not. And some things might work for a little while and then when the bear market comes, they no longer work. Right. So then you have to just
That
take from the past and
that's the
learn.
biggest problem that that right there, what you just said, when the bear market comes, right? That is the Achilles heel. Because
That's
you can
also
be
when you
building
learn and
something great.
when you
Like,
build something good.
no, but I'm just saying, like, if you build something great, then the market cap should like if you have something, a product that's actually working, then the market cap shouldn't mean anything, right?
Sure, but then we're not talking about, then we're not talking about really the ethos of memes anymore, right? Because then
No, no,
it's
what I'm
you're
saying,
building.
if the meme itself is working,
If the
I was
meme
just
itself is
generalizing.
if the meme itself is working, then it has to have anytime that there is an incentive structure, it's no longer a meme, especially when we're tokenizing assets. It's no longer a meme. Like what Ansem is doing right now, not a meme anymore because there's an
Why?
incentive structure. Memes are there is no incentive. There is no promise of returns. There
But he's
is
not.
no
I don't think he's promised return on anything.
Yeah, he has. They're literally rewarding people. There's an incentive structure that is built in there now. That is no longer a meme.
Hold on. He's rewarding people. Hold on. It's not a utility.
It's not a network token, but it's not a meme any longer.
Well, it is a meme.
No. It is the token itself has shifted to incorporating an incentive structure, and I've been very strict on this for a very long time. You're no longer a meme token if you have any incentive structure. It's no longer a meme token.
Hold on. So
It could still
because
be a
he's
meme,
because he's giving
be
back.
memed. Yes.
Hold on. Because he's giving back, it's no longer a meme.
Yeah, like Pengu's not a meme. As soon as you start
No,
incentive,
I
as
think
soon as
Pengu's.
you,
I think Pengu's a meme.
okay, here's
I
the
think
problem
Pengu
that I
and
have
like
with that.
look again. Like I have.
No.
I'm just saying. I think okay. Like you're incentivizing people to do. Well,
The
it
whole
depends.
the whole point of memes was and meme tokens was to stick it to the man, stick it to the regulators. You
So
can't
that
come
what are you
after us.
doing? So what are you doing?
So my point is that as soon as you have an incentive structure, you're now in a different category. You're no longer just a meme. You're no longer if you provide any type of an incentive for holders, for anybody like that, you're no longer a meme. None
But
of
what does
these
he provide? Like what is he providing?
rewards that are monetary in value
Why?
for
Like
holders.
there's no intrinsic value. It's like here you go.
No, if it can be swapped for stables, which there's a stable liquidity
But
pool
that's
and
the
there's a
market.
SOL liquidity
The
pool.
market is deciding
No,
what it's worth. It's not
no.
him.
As soon as you provide an incentive structure from the view from the old view, not the new view of the SEC and CFTC, but the old view of the SEC, you are now providing some sort of value promised back to holders, which gets you into the territory
What are
that
you promising?
rewards. It's literally right there on the profile. I'm looking at it.
Reward. Okay.
Monetary rewards.
Hold on. Hypothetically speaking, I want to go ahead and just I see a content creator, think they're doing great. I want to hit them, which I would classify with a reward for doing great. Unless you want to call it tipping.
Where's the reward coming from?
What do you mean? From my ass, bro? Like, what do you mean?
Okay. If somebody says, hey, from this project, we are going to pay a reward for people pushing the project, and you have to be a holder. That is an
Okay,
incentive structure, is it not? With a monetary reward.
Then you said, hold on. Then you said Pengu is, but Pengu isn't then because Pengu airdropped everybody's ass.
There's staking rewards, right?
I mean, there's going to be staking rewards regardless, and it won't be due to the project, right? Think about it. Somebody's going to come out with something, right? And say you can stake your XYZ here, right? Like Coinbase can come out and say, hey, stake Pengu here and you get whatever, 6%. That has nothing to do with the person themselves, right? Because it's a decentralized economy, man. Like you can't stop somebody from, ultimately the market decides what the value is.
But what's the difference? The difference is if the project provides for the liquidity for that on the other side.
But
and they're directly involved.
Hold on. He got sent tokens, so it's not like he didn't provide anything.
Who?
I'm talking about Ansem.
If you're providing,
what did Ansem provide?
If
no,
you
I'm saying in general,
providing rewards for work. Look, this is something that y'all can like rally
I'm
against
not.
it,
I'm
but
debating. I'm not saying you're
this is
wrong. I'm just having a conversation with
no,
you.
no, no, I'm watching the comments too.
I don't give a fuck
But
about the comments.
but
You need to. The
what you
comments
have
mean
to
nothing.
understand is anytime what is the promise of memes? No promise of return, no team, right? There's these were all
Yeah.
things to poke our the double middle finger at the regulators, right? That was the whole point of meme tokens.
Okay.
Once you have a team, once you have any kind of incentivization structure built into that, you are exiting meme token territory. Not saying that it's not a meme that you have now financialized, but you are now providing for something that is outside of the realm of what the original ethos of memes are.
Okay. Hold on. You have a meme. Can we break this down, Landy?
Mhm.
You have a meme.
Doesn't matter who launched it, by the way, chat.
You have a meme. Okay. You sh- if you're going to take it on, you need some sort of team, right, to help or no?
If you officially have a foundation, a team, or anything declared as a centralized point, that's where you run into risk. And for anybody that thinks that I don't know what I'm talking about, you have no idea what I've been involved in this space for a very long time, or how many conversations I've had in
Landy, look
DC.
at me. Landy, look at me. Forget about the crowd. We know what the crowd. Respectfully to the crowd, love y'all. We
I've been fighting
understand.
this fight since some of these before these kids even
Oh,
knew what cryptocurrency was.
Landy, listen to me. Oh, I'm here. Look at me. I'm here. I'm right here, man. Forget about everything else. I'm saying you have a meme, right? There are plenty of memes that have teams behind them, correct?
Yeah, and I don't consider them actual meme tokens.
I
Me
mean,
personally.
that'll
Get a
probably be the only
Democrat
disagreement.
admin
You have to
in,
have somebody
get
creating
a
memes, right?
Democrat administration in, and watch how quickly they all turn into
I'm
securities and
not
they
talking
clamp
about.
down on
I'm
them.
not talking about Republicans or Democrats in
But
politics and the way.
that's the whole reason that meme tokens came into existence, David,
I'm
because
just.
that was thumb in the eye, double middle fingers to the regulators. You can't
I
get
know
us for
what
being securities.
I know what you're talking about, and I respect it. I'm talking about the current state. I'm not talking about what could
I don't care
come.
about the current state. The current
Okay.
state's going to shift as soon as we get in an admin shift,
Okay.
whether it's in 28 or 32. Trust
You
me.
think that you think they're going to be able to rewrite the rules?
Yeah, you wanna know why? Because Congress isn't codifying a goddamn thing that the Trump administration's put in. Everything is just guidance from the CFTC and SEC.
What's going
What
to
you gotta
codify it? What's going to codify it?
codified means that we have
No,
not
I know what it
codified
means. I'm
any
asking you what's
rules.
going to do that.
We need actual crypto regulations that are codified by
Okay.
Congress.
Why aren't we delivering that?
Because we have an inept Congress that doesn't want to actually do anything because they know they want to leave the door open to clamp down on everything. That's why they're not acting on any of this bullshit. That's why it's so frustrating in DC when you know that they all know they need to do this, but they don't want to give a win to the administration. They also don't want to give a win to regular people because regular people then could actually financialize all of these assets and not be considered actual per SEC and CFTC guidance, not be considered securities. They want to leave the door open so that they can get all of the institutions to tokenize everything because they're already registered securities. They want to tokenize stock tokens and RWAs, and then they want to leave the door open for a new administration to come in and clamp down on everything else that they didn't approve of. That is my frustration with a lot of this. And it comes to the wider crypto industry and people not understanding that this is actually the door is being left open on purpose and the attack has yet to come. This is my main problem with a lot of the people that are like, well, times are good now. Yeah, when times are good, they're always good. In the bull market, everybody was clicking green buttons and making money left and right. Well, except for people who top blast and then sell the bottoms, right? But the point being is you can very easily click the green button when the times are good. You can very easily get down and depressed when the bear market comes back. Well, times are good in terms of regulation and guidance from the regulators when it comes to cryptocurrencies right now as it stands. But even the shit that they're looking at passing doesn't even address the core of the fucking problems.
Okay.
Ask Charles.
We don't disagree on this. So then, how do you build in this space? How can somebody build, number one, their personal brand, or just build in the space in general? Like, is there no need to be here?
No, just build good product, get bought, have fun.
Understandable, but
you
how do
can.
you build within this now? Like when
You
we
adapt.
sit here and we have this conversation, how do you build something if the rules are still not clear?
Well,
Because
you can
the
still
rules
build something, you can still make money, and you can still enjoy the ride. My point isn't that I'm not advocating against these things. I'm pointing out what I classify as something. I think memes are fine. Go and do it. Go have
I
reward
get it,
programs.
but
Go
like
start
you
liquidity
can't.
pools. Go do everything you want to do.
I
Just
get it.
understand what it is that you're getting into when the times do turn. Because and this is more of a, you know what, if you want to come together as a fucking crypto community, fucking put your asses on the line and not on the timeline, and actually get on your on the freaking representatives asses here in the United States and tell them to fucking do their goddamn job to secure actual legislation for this fucking industry, instead of bitching on the timeline, taking shots at Saylor, taking shots at Tom Lee. None of them matter. They're already there trying to fucking push regulation. You ain't doing shit except grabbing your dick, jerking it off on their face every second you get whenever prices are down. And then you're going to celebrate when prices are up. You're not even going to talk once about Stretch losing its fucking par, or where MicroStrategy is, or how bad Tom Lee is. Instead, you're going to be like, wow, everything's great again. They're the best. They're on TV. The bull runs back, baby. Fuck you. Do the work in the goddamn bear market. Call your goddamn representatives. Get people on the phone. Build product. Build cool shit that people want to use. Get it ready now and then fight for it. Stop being dumbasses.
Woo! Only I can get somebody animated like this on my show.
You knew where to poke too, because pause. No Diddy. But
Listen,
we've had these conversations for quite some time, obviously.
absolutely.
You and I.
Listen, I don't disagree with you. I'm giving you my, you know what it is? I'm giving you my perspective of what should be done. That's really it. It's just like, right, when you say these things, it's like, what's the point of being in crypto and building? Like, you could participate here, you can go into the market, right? But what's the point? It's just like, hey, just buy Bitcoin. Like, no, I'm being dead serious. It's just like, buy Bitcoin and whatever. But if somebody wanted to use the tech, which there is tech here, that's the tech, and build
tech.
out what?
We have amazing tech, and we have amazing product.
That's what
here.
I'm saying. We have tech here which we can't touch. We can't touch it because we have clowns out here that will persistently come out here and just FUD the fuck out of you in the same industry. And then you have, besides being fudded by your own people, you got this side of the fucking fence, which is like the government. I mean, seriously, the government, if they really wanted to see amazing things, they'd pass shit, but they don't want to pass shit because I agree with you. Leave it open-ended.
That's exactly what they're doing, and I think Charles figured this out very quickly.
So then, like, what do you do? How can you build here? Then fuck it. Like, you might as well go to Silicon Valley, bro. Do you understand? You could say you have amazing tech here, but that doesn't mean anything if you can't use it, right?
Yeah.
So what's the fucking point of being here?
You know what we should do? You know what? Take a meme and turn it into the most powerful fucking utility, so that they can't ignore it, and then use that money from the utility.
You're giving people ideas, man. What the fuck is wrong?
and just go full force, just right at them, head on, just fuck it, right? Because we do have a window of opportunity to operate in this manner right now with the current guidance from the
You got
SEC
2 years.
CFTC.
2 years.
Yeah. We got that. We have the time. We just go and run it right in their face. Just fuck you. We're going to do it our way. And
you know what I don't understand, Landy? You're going to have to help me out here because maybe my IQ isn't that high. We all come in here, forget about we all come here and we all participate in the markets, right? It's a free market, correct?
Yeah.
And then when we lose, well, when I lose, it is what it is, man. I took it on the chin. Pause, no diddy. I'm just saying, right? Like you move on. It didn't work out. It didn't work out. Okay. But then you have motherfuckers that are out here just saying, okay, I lost everything because I put it in based on thinking what? You think so you think things here are guaranteed to fucking work out? People can put in as much effort as they want. It doesn't mean it's going to work out. Blockbuster didn't work out, right? Blockbuster could have bought Netflix for $50 million. They didn't. Guess what? Blockbuster is dead. It didn't work out. So what? You gonna sue Blockbuster? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Like there is no incentive. There is none. Like when you have a whiteboard and you look at the pros and cons of doing something to elevate one's brand, like what's the incentive? Like your hearts, I know a lot of people's hearts are in the right place. And if whatever they do to go ahead and make that shit happen, still when you look at the cons, there's so many things that like why would you want to get gray hair? Right?
Yeah. I agree.
And you know what? People who aren't builders, who haven't never built a business, who haven't worked in a day in their life, for them to go ahead, come out here with their fucking opinions and tell you how to fucking operate, motherfucker, it sounds easy. If it was that easy, you'd be doing it, right? That's the cliche, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was that easy, you'd be rich. You'd be doing all this stuff. It's not easy. Why doesn't everybody go ahead and get on a microphone and look into a camera? Because it ain't easy. The fuck you talking about? Do you know every single day you have to have a topic to come on here and talk about? While motherfuckers are watching you and fucking throwing tomatoes at you for no reason? And you gotta go ahead and look into that camera and pretend it's not being said? You see Landy, man, he was about to jump y'all in the comments. This ain't an easy job. This is a career we're out here trying to fucking onboard more people, make this great. Listen, Landy, you know my personality. You already know me. I want this space to thrive. You're not gonna get everything fucking right either, man. I will not get everything right either, bro. I will just not get everything right. I'm human. I ain't Jesus, man.
Yep.
I'm human, man. I'm human. We're all susceptible to making fucking mistakes and just tripping one time. But as long as you continue to get up and move forward for the right reasons and build some dope ass shit, then let's fucking go. What is this like? Where is that? Where is that energy that we used to? Yo, Landy, that's the problem. The energy we had back in the day is not the same as it was here. It was a builder's mindset. It's built up our own economy. It's built up our own ecosystem. Now it's like, fuck you. I'm participating here, but fuck you. It's the haters ball from the Chappelle Show kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, think about it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Look, I respect the fact, and I respect what you said 100%, and I agree with you. I also look at Trump, man. Like Trump fucking smack around some people, get this shit done. I understand it's not that easy. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's both sides. Honestly, Landy, let's keep it 100, man. It's both sides, man. It's not just one. It's both sides. I'm a Republican, but it's both sides.
Look, we can only do so much in this space. Outside of, look, cryptocurrency and blockchain networks aren't going anywhere no matter what the government does, right? But we would much rather that the government create an environment that encourages the growth here than discourages. And we have representatives on both sides of the aisle that are slow walking legislation with intent to put the limits and the brakes on this industry. And this is because they are scared of the upheaval if they cannot guide the upheaval, right? If their donors and their benefactors and the banking industry cannot guide it, it scares the ever loving shit out of them. And that is something that I think will change. I think it's a fight that they inevitably lose in that regard, but I think that what they're doing is they're buying themselves as much time to get involved in the industry directly to influence where it's headed next. But then they're still on our turf. And I think that's something that we often forget is that they're coming to our house. And they've tried to come into our house without wiping their feet before, and they got their lunch eaten. And we didn't go anywhere. It's been a very long time. For those of you that have been here for a long time, you understand what I'm saying. And David, you certainly understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Now now they want in, right? And they're getting in and they're wiping their feet before they come in. But you always have to look, why do they have the one hand behind their back? What are they doing with that knife? Because you do need to be aware of what the game is and how it's played. Just because they wipe their feet and they're being respectful right now doesn't mean that they're not laying the groundwork to push everybody else out, right? I've
you know,
called it choke point 3.0.
it is. Well, I had Penny and Boring on, and she said that that's what it is, 3.0. But 3.0 is different. She broke it down.
Yeah, it's where they come to us as like, oh yeah, we're your friends. We're gonna
Yeah.
help push this forward with you. Really, it is the most insidious version of choke point. And a lot of what is going to happen in the next run up when we shift into bull market territory and bull market structure for Bitcoin and the majors, and we see things popping off left and right. Well, we're distracted by all the green candles and the gains and the fun that we're having. You got to remember that they are just getting more entrenched
For
into
sure.
these ecosystems and building out the rails for the direction that they want to take things. And we must remain cognizant of that so that we can head them off at the pass. We can utilize their liquidity just like they're going to utilize their liquidity, right? We
Yeah.
can utilize the liquid assets that they put on chain to tokenize RWAs and stocks and all of their different equities products, and we can have fun. But if we don't redirect it back into what we are building and furthering the mission that we have for acceptance of cryptocurrency at not just the institutional level, but at the nation state level, then we will have lost our mission. So we have to remember that mission when good times are back, when the green candles are hitting, when there
Yeah.
is massive upside and huge projections on where things are going and the media is getting excited and politicians are out there campaigning on it and all this wonderful stuff. Don't lose the ethos. Don't fall into the trap. Keep building, keep pushing forward, keep innovating, make things that they cannot ignore that are disruptive.
Yeah.
And that means that we have to change how we do things here. And we can't just be chasing. If you're in meme coins,
Well,
you will need to take that money that you make in meme coins and build something with it. Push the industry forward.
that's a very difficult subject for people to go ahead and take out, any sort of profit that they make. So
That is,
that's
yeah,
a
that's
very
psychology.
difficult.
Yeah.
You'll be talking to them when you're on Spaces, and they're like, "No, it's still going up." So,
Yeah. So how about
and
Memdani
land is
appointing people
horrible.
that are going to give him a raise in New York City? By the way,
Who?
this Mamdani, he appointed this chick that's going to give him a raise. He says that he's not going to take it. Let's see if he does or he doesn't.
Y'all don't understand socialism. And you don't want to find out what communism is either.
Yeah, it's all these DSA is just backdoor communism anyway. I think that people understand
Crazy.
that. And hey,
It's
the Dems are
right.
eating themselves right now, so let's see what comes out of it.
I'm watching this and I'm like, watch when people are when they really start feeling it, which they will. Like I've heard that now he's trying to raise salaries and shit and all this stuff for people that work in the government or for the
Yeah,
city, I should say.
they're voted for their own raises in
Yeah.
New York. Yeah,
And it's amazing to watch. It's like they're they're good. You're not. Because that money has to come from somewhere and it's going to come from you. And you don't understand that. Not everything's free.
no,
I'm going to
nothing
keep
is
on
free.
saying that. Nothing.
Nothing is free. And when all the capitalists leave or you've taxed the ever loving shit out of them and you have no one to actually, I mean, it's something that will always self implode and self immolate, because when you disincentivize actual production and you take and you move from the producers to the non producers of society, the producers go away and you're left with non-production, you're left with no production, therefore no tax revenue, therefore just bloated incentives to not produce, that always collapses, always does. It's just
I
economics,
will say
happens
that
every time.
man, Danny, though, that dude puts on a show. Obviously, his mom has been in acting. That's been passed down to him.
He
So
lies through his teeth really well.
yeah, but you know what? When people are suffering, Landy, remember that subject we talked about?
Yeah.
When people are feeling it at the pump, regardless of what we think or what we can afford, when they're feeling it at the grocery store, doesn't matter what we think about the economy, even though I think the economy is on its way back, does not matter. They don't care about the stock market because most of them are not invested into the stock market. They're looking at what they're paying, and here comes Mandani smiling and saying, I got
Or
you.
raising
And
taxes.
that's it. It is the people here, it's psychological. People here free, they're there, right? It's just that's what it is. That's it. Rent freeze. People are getting excited. Do you understand what happens when that happens? Some people do deserve it. Like the elderly
Mhm.
deserve it, Landy. Like I'm all in support of senior citizens having their rents frozen. They shouldn't be. Come on, they're not working. Okay, they're not working. Those who qualify, who essentially have worked paycheck to paycheck their entire lives, they should have their rent frozen. They're not getting a lot from SSI and all that stuff. They should, in certain areas, absolutely have it frozen. But
Well,
having everybody, do you know how it backfires? Do you know there's no maintenance? You know how much maintenance costs to go ahead and maintenance a building?
well,
A
the
building, plumbing,
the big thing that people miss is
maintenance.
for any of those properties, the reason, I mean, I said this the other day with you, but you freeze rents, but yet you're raising taxes and costs is going up for
Correct.
everything surrounding these buildings. You push out the actual investors that have invested in those just because they were on different programs. Almost none of these people would have seen rent increases anyway if they qualified for the programs, because the rent increase would be going to the subsidized portion, which is subsidized by the city, county, state, so on and so forth. So it was a false. It's essentially it's a false premise. It's like, and it what it ends up doing is it's all in an effort to push out, and this is part of, the socialism to communism through line. It's an effort to push out those, private investors and private investment groups and companies that own those properties so that the government can take control of them. But then you lose the actual production side of things. And if you don't have the tax revenue to come in, you can't support any of these systems, and you can't prevent costs and competition from lowering costs, and you end up in an inflationary environment where costs continue to rise, and now it's all at the government's doorstep with decreasing tax revenues. And saying that you have a balanced budget just because you took state funds to balance the budget does not mean that you balance the budget. You just took state funds. You took funds from another part of the state to allocate to this part of the state, and you
Yeah.
call it a balanced budget. That's going to run out, and then it all collapses in on itself. But that's the goal, and I think people don't understand that this is not a flaw in his plan. This is the
This is
goal
the
of his
plan.
plan. That is his plan,
There
right?
ain't no flaw. He is executing.
But
He
and
is
it's sold on
executing
a
the
bill of
plan.
goods, though. It's sold.
Yeah.
It's a false promise. It's a false dream. It's twisted lies. It's fudging the numbers, and he's really good at it. He's a really good on-camera personality. He's a really good slick speaker.
I would tell you, on the real, number one, the reason I don't like him for a lot of reasons. One, that people compare me to him. Okay, in terms of looks,
Well,
like no, I'm better looking. Number one, and number two, like fuck, man.
I
I
was
seen a
gonna
video
say,
and
if they're gonna
fuck.
switch him out, there's a good candidate right here if you want to just start fixing the policies. If everybody's got the clones, there's the conspiracy theory about the clones and the doubles. He could just go on vacation and you could go just run New York City for him,
Or I can go ahead and take a week off of the
and he
breakdown,
can
and he
host the
can go ahead
show,
and host it for me, right?
right? Yeah, I mean, you could easily pick up the DSA sponsorship with him in charge.
I can't do that, man. He just smiles all the just like smiling all the time and shit, bro. That's such a fucking act. Hey, listen, nobody smiles like that 24/7. Nobody.
Well, I mean, I have a smile
Anybody who
painted on my
smiles
face.
and laughs at anything is not to be trusted. I'm sorry, man. That's an
I-
Eastern European thing, man. Anybody who laughs at whack ass jokes or is just smiling all the time, ain't nobody that happy. Okay, I'm not saying you can't be happy, but like ain't nobody walking around with just like
I
fucking
feel like
Chuck
you're
E.
taking
Cheese
shots at the
smile.
puppet now. I've had this smile painted on my face for a very long time. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. One last look. Let's look at because I do this. This is what I do. Let's look. Hold on. Let me let's go ahead and look. So Landy, it's been 10 days since I opened up this wallet. You want to see what's inside?
Oh my God. Yeah, I just started following you on there.
Oh, thanks.
Um,
Appreciate
so
it.
I'm gonna go look as well. Let me see. Following Sir DGDG.
So there you go. Right now, 1.5 is in that current wallet with 32 coins, or tokens, excuse me. Obviously, the top of the list, you have two white bulls, basically. You got one here, you got one there. Again, I haven't blessed anything, I haven't sent anything. This is it's what I said, Landy. I said the community would ultimately decide, oh, where the fuck are we? Hold on 1 second. I thought we were out here, bro.
We're here. Hi.
10 days, the wallet's been open. And yeah, I said that ultimately the community would decide. I have no clue what this is. I really don't. I'm also like feeling like if I click on any of these things, I'm gonna get fucking drained or something. No, I'm dead serious with you, bro. I'm just like, yo, I know. Landy done sent me something to get drained or something. I don't know. Apparently I'm a dog.
I've enjoyed looking at like the transactions coming in from
Speaking of
tokens.
Mandani.
Wait, is there one of you are you Memdani in here?
No.
Oh.
Free. Everything's free.
Oh, everything's free.
I was looking here. That's free. Free.
Oh man.
Free everything. But yeah, that's. I mean, I can go. There's pages and shit, I guess, but this is what it is right now. By the way, my wallet or my profile page here is Sir DGDG because my name got stolen.
Your
I got
actual name?
hijacked, son. But yeah, I'm just Literally, this is the message. This is since creating it. Just buying. Just buying. Landy, it's me who's the idiot. You're laughing. But it's me who's the, because I should know better, like I should definitely know better. Knowing that, oh shit, it's happened to people. I'm thinking, I'm a bot, and which what I'm still going to do. I'm thinking I'm buying like Troll, Bobo, all these things to show like, yo, these are the things I'm in. Let's see what happens, right? Because there's more people like, here to go ahead and I guess showcase it to.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do it on the show, like buy shit on the show. Like I remember when I did when we had that Web3 wallet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what this to me was like cool. And now I sit here. And now I sit here. Listen, like I said, the community will ultimately speak and state what they like. But it's what I said, and it's what we talked about earlier. Let me bring it back to us. It's what I said earlier to you, Landy. Or I've said this while you were on the show before. I believe that so this kind of goes against it goes against everything, right? From a standpoint of decentralization, when you say you need supply control, correct? Like it just goes against everything, right?
Well, okay.
Because what I'm going to say,
I'm going to say no, because decentralization is, well, first of all, Solana is not really
where
that
I'm coming from.
decentralized.
And when I'm using decentralization, you know what I'm talking about.
But supply centralization and network decentralization and
Correct.
centralization are two very different things.
But like when people come here, I'm just breaking it down on layman's terms for the crowd, because what me and you are going to talk about is going to go over everybody's fucking head.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't here for that, and they're not. So like decentralized for them is like it's organic completely. Like you know what I'm talking about. Like organic completely. There's nothing being held pre-mined. None of that shit happened.
Yeah.
But in this current state of crypto, and especially if you're putting your brand on it, there is no way that it can be that way. It's just no way.
I'm of the opinion that there are certain ways in which you can do a full free fair.
What'd you say?
No, there's. I'm of the opinion that there are ways and successful ways in which free and fair can be done. I think that Leonidas actually proved that out with Dog on Bitcoin.
Long term.
Long term, yeah.
Yeah, how long has that? What's that? 4 years? Is that 4 years?
2 years. 2 years.
3 years?
The halving.
Shit.
It was the halving. So 24.
I'm already thinking it's almost 4 years, man.
No, not yet. Not yet.
But think about that. Yeah, I respect that.
But that was a community effort and community donations that got that rolling, right? So that took that was a Herculean effort by Leonidas and that team to actually pull that off. And I gave him his flowers the other day on a Spaces event. I think that he did a really, really good job. And there was a lot of people that didn't like what he was doing. But he proved out the concept and it was successful. So, but then there is, when you're in an environment like on Solana or Ethereum or other places in which there is, where there is a different mindset, and it all comes down to how the tokens are launched.
Yeah.
I think that centralized supply control allows for a lot of perks, because if you have centralized supply control, you can generate the flywheel via liquidity pools. You can generate the flywheel via, and these are just, I'm just throwing this out there from different models. This is not anything that I'm saying is that you have to look at a case by case basis, but if you have supply control and you have fee generation, you can stand up liquidity pools, which then in theory should beget more fee generation, which then begets more building. You can do rewards and incentive programs. You can fund marketing. You can also do things like buybacks and burns. You can do all kinds of different things. There's all kinds of, the sky's the limit when you have control over supply. And and honestly, that's what a lot of people do anyway. They'll get into a free fare, they'll buy a bunch of it, they'll stand up a liquidity pool, and then they'll, start generating fees. And then they'll, do something with those fees, right? That usually, if they're doing it the right way, that will contribute to that particular project, right? So it doesn't really matter. Somebody ends up with the outsized majority of supply at the end of the day, no matter what. So if you're going to be heading something up, it might as well be you, whether you go and you buy it, whether it was sent to you via Ansem or anybody else, doesn't really matter how that supply control occurs. But typically you want some measure of control so that you can actually create an economic flywheel that then perpetuates, the actual project itself and its longevity. And that's how we see a lot of projects in general. Meme tokens are not how they fail is they lose control of the direction, um, and or they mess up tokenomics or something like that, right? They end up applying, downward pressure through the sales of their tokens in order to do marketing, which then begets what? Exit liquidity that's going to fund your project for only a limited number of years or maybe even a limited number of months, right? So it really depends on how that flywheel is built, for the economic survivability in both bull and bear markets. And that's where you have to look at something like the fee generation that Pengu was able to do via standing up all the various liquidity pools across different chains. They were able to actually generate income that then perpetuates all of the project moving forward, and you run it like
Yeah,
a business. And most don't come in here to run it like a business. They try to get supply control so they could dump it out at the highs and move on to the next.
100%.
And that's just not how you build. That's how you make a lot of money really quickly. But
David, we need Landy in our community.
how do you know I'm not in your community?
Oh!
How
Listen,
do you
I
know
just
I'm not?
I just want to make crypto great again. How about that? I just want to make crypto
How
great
do you
again.
know? How do you know that I didn't have a bot watching David's wallet that automatically buys into all the tokens sent to it anyway? How do you know that? You don't know that. See, I can wear the Bitcoin crown, but people don't understand the levels of shitcoinery I get up to.
By the way, I just like to tell everybody that Landy is the ultimate shitcoiner, bro.
Oh, bro, are you kidding me? I have been shitcoining longer. I've been shitcoining since before there were shitcoins.
Hey, hold on. Don't call. Hey, hold on. I'm gonna get offended real quick.
No. Meme coins and shitcoins are different.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And by the way, there's only one bull.
Is he white?
I don't care if the Jewish cabal sent Levi's or whatever his name is after me. You imagine how dirty that is? Yo, do you imagine what? I gotta talk to the head rabbis, man. What the hell's happening? Come on, man. Are you kidding me? Y'all see me naked?
Wait, what? Hold on. I just got really confused. What happened?
Who's the real bull, man? Are you kidding me? Y'all seen the muscles? Y'all seen the traps? What are we talking about here? Raw, bull in it. I'm a bully in this street. Yo, how is a dude
I'm the orange bulb.
Nah, you know what? It is what it is, man. Maybe I'll be like, I'm scared to say anything now because y'all crazy.
I like charts.
I was
That's
about
all
to
I'm
say
gonna say.
something, man. I was about to say
I'm
something.
a chart guy. I like charts.
And then you have the leprechaun. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Wait, there's a leprechaun now?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, I'm saying this leprechaun's trying to take my goddamn name.
Oh. Is he lucky?
No. He's been liquidated. He was like up $800 million. He got liquidated. You don't know who I'm talking about?
I am
Bro.
at a loss.
You know who I'm talking about, bro.
The
whole crowd knows. You don't know.
Never heard of him. Who's that? Never heard of that guy.
No, listen, people heard of him, but the guy who like it came out of left field. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you guys don't believe me when I say this, man. I'm Jewish, but I'm the first Jew who was put on the ADL list for being all right for some reason. I don't know. I ain't never been all right. I have no clue. I have no clue what's happening here, man.
But David, are you winning?
Am I who?
Are you winning, son?
Oh. Are you winning, son? Listen,
it's so funny.
It's been good. 2 hours and 39 minutes going on 2 hours and 40 minutes. It is Tuesday, July 7th. Yeah. It is the 7th. It is the 7th. And I am we're done, right? We are done. We are done. I thought that was Ben Shapiro. What the fuck? I gotta speak to Ben Shapiro, man. I think he sent Levi a Levy. Yo, I don't even take it. Yo, honestly, like everybody's more mad than I am. Like I'm like whatever, bro. But like, yo, once I get Landy, once I get into something, my focus, you ain't beating me, son. I don't give a fuck. I've been tortured. Like I've been through boot camp in this motherfucker, bro. Like it don't matter to me. At this point, it don't matter. I'm a win. Win at the goal. That is really it. All I want, honestly, Landy, I just want crypto to be awesome, bro. It used to be awesome. It used to be fucking awesome. And now it's full of these fucking kids with fucking spam controllers.
Got to turn on that turbo button. Flip the switch.
They're dunking on you. You got kids dunking on you, bro. They're smacking you upside your forehead. You got fucking kids coming on here saying, thanks for the 20 bandos, bitches. Like, what the fuck is happening? What is happening, my bros?
You know what I gotta say to that? Up your game. Those are rookie numbers. Those are rookie fucking numbers. Don't come at a Bitcoin puppet and go, I just made 20 bandos. Okay, cool. I've literally spent more than 20 bandos on a freaking mushroom on Bitcoin. All right. Just because I wanted to feel something.
On Bitcoin. And that's where we ended. Landy, we'll see you back tomorrow. Check out Landy's show. He had a show yesterday breaking down the markets. The puppet breaking down the markets. I was here. I was electric yesterday and I was electric today. By the way, Landy was electric today. He came out his skin today to go ahead and rip somebody a new asshole. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I really do. Numbers are climbing. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate you guys coming here. The community wins me over. I shall maybe bless something. Okay? Something. I've been repetitive with that. So win me over. Work harder. I work hard. Y'all work hard too. Well, my mission is different, and I'm not going to explain it again. You can rewind the tapes. Landy, thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
your
David.
ass. Well, no Diddy, but just appreciate you. And we'll fucking be on here at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And I'll also be on at 8 p.m. with fucking Rob Nelson. Okay? We'll go break down politics. On that note, guys, I'm out. So are you, right, Puppet?
Yep. Take care, everybody. Thanks, David.